Getting 5 national awards for one particular film, hats off to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
On social media, there's a feeling also that Urvashi should have won an award.
Yeah, I feel it not just social media, I feel it very, very strongly that she doesn't perform, she just lives that part. So, Partyla வந்து they were putting lots of shows and adula oru show la I went. It was a general audience. It was crazy. I finally got my closure, you know. Cheers and the claps and the whistles. எங்க நாங்க வந்து எதிர்பார்த்தோமோ அந்த moments, even beyond those moments, like அந்த ஊர்மொய் scene la and all, I believe that entire 5 minutes they were whistling. It was a fantastically gratifying experience.
Mr. Suriya has a certain image.
I never go by the image really. Image in Pata, I mean, he doesn't smoke, but they were smoking in the film. He doesn't like to use bad words, but there were bad words in the film. There were cuss words. So I really didn't stick to his image. Actually, na first version of the script la vandu or fight irunduchu, but it was such a generic fight. It was not genre specific, and it was irritating me. So I took it off, and Suriya didn't say anything.
Suriya put a remake in Hindi. How is it progressing?
Working with Akshay sir is completely a different process than working with Suriya. To me, what is exciting, what's keeping me on my toes is both these actors perform very differently.
And is it a scene-by-scene remake or?
No, it's a little different. Things that troubled me in the Tamil a little bit, things that I felt needn't have been there, I've removed. It's a tighter version.
Coming to your next film, is it
Suriya
43?
Yeah.
When is that happening?
Very soon, not too far off.
Is Dulquer doing a role in the movie?
Dulquer is my favorite, but...
Hello, on red carpet, I have a very special person, Sudha Kongara, and she's become a national figure now with all the awards for her brilliant Suriya portrait. Welcome to the show, Sudha.
Thank you, Sridhar sir.
You've been making waves. 5 national awards. No mean achievement.
Thank you.
In small, about 10 years you've been in the industry and getting 5 national awards for one particular film. Hats off to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Tell me how you achieved this.
I don't know. I think I'm like this bull, you know. I just want something, I go after it. And it's been I would say a long journey, 20 years, assistant come as a director. So it's, I think I would say I never gave up. That's all. It's been very difficult, sir. Sometimes you want to give up. Sometimes you just want to leave. அது எல்லாத்தையும் தாண்டி மீறி எதுக்கு இது பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கும் போது பண்ணிட்டே போயிட்டே இருக்க வேண்டியது.
How did you convince Suriya to do this role?
சூர்யாவுக்கு நான் வந்து ஒரு ராக்கி டே அன்னைக்கு I had met him and he said ஏதாவது இருந்தால் சொல்லு, let's do something together. So I went back to him in about 5-7 days or something like that. I had just written this or 44 pages or one-liner and I gave it to him. And he said, I'll read and let you know. And I went off to shoot with Venki, the Telugu film. Then one midnight, there was a message from him saying, I've read it and we need to talk. So I said, 6:30, I'm going to shoot. 6 o'clock, you call me. So 6 o'clock sharp on the dot, Suriya calls. And he said, this is a story that has to be told and I'll produce it. Because I don't want anybody interfering with your vision. I don't want anybody to tell you, like, you know, this is commercial or not commercial or mainstream or it'll run or not run. We can spend only this much. We can only shoot this way. I don't want any of that. Let me produce it. And that's how it started. I think he saw the same thing that I saw.
Okay.
Our vision was the same. Here is this man who disrupted Indian aviation. You know, it's a huge disruption. What an, like, you know, India was just opening up right then. And he comes in and he gives you, like, no middle class person could fly, sir, at that point of time. No common man could fly. It was for the elite. Yes. It was for the rich, you know. I still remember
the low-cost airlines were not in fashion at that time.
It was not there. The concept
there.
was not there. And he brought it to India. He disrupted the Indian aviation. He changed the face of Indian aviation. And here is this man's story and I wanted to tell it. And Suriya, I think, he said, my God, what a man. And when he met Captain Gopinath also, it was like, I have to tell his story and I have to tell it the way it is, the way it was. That's how it started.
See, how did you choose the script? I know it was a period of COVID, But the script itself is a major winner. You won an award along with Shalini for the best screenplay. It's an uplifting story, a message of hope.
Yeah.
So how did you zero in on it? Because when you do, when you look at it initially, it's not a script of a pakka commercial cinema. So how was the script chosen, and why did you go for Mr. Gopinath's life?
So actually, it is the most mainstream, most commercial subject you can ever take. It's the story of an underdog.
Yeah.
An underdog story, I don't think will. அது அந்நியமா இருக்காது. First of all, relatability is very, very high when you take an underdog story. I think that's how I chose it. I didn't see, when he was talking, I saw an interview in 2010, 2009, 2010, and the way he was so passionate about what he was doing, and he was saying like, it was a matter of one day. In one day, I could have been out on the streets, all my shareholders would have been out on the streets, and I sold it to Kingfisher, and everything was saved. I said, my God, there's a story here. And right then, I remember calling GV and telling him, I just heard this, and I just heard this man talk. We have to tell his story. And GV was like, this is a phenomenal subject. But then Drohi flopped. And I had to wait for 6 years for Irudhi Suttru to happen. Because adukku munnadi na Captain Gopinath kitta pona avaru vandu avaroda vaalkai kadha vandu engitta kudukka poradhe illa, nambavum maataru. So January 2016, Irudhi Suttru released, and it did well. So immediately in February, I fixed up an appointment with Captain, and 5 minutes he spoke to me, and I told him why I wanted to do his life story. He gave me his life story, and that's how it started. And yes, it was a very difficult film to write, but solra madri and the karu vandu, it's a very, very commercial karu.
Captain Gopinath, in fact, has gone out of his way. He said, only because of Suriya and Sudha, I did the film, and they consulted me at every, part of it.
I think all our consultations were before we started the shooting, and we had several sessions with him, and I had several interviews with him, and he spoke to me for hours. His family spoke to me. Our friends who started the airline with him, they spoke to me, and then Suriya came down and he met with him. Through the filming, once in a way, when I wanted something, I would call him. Like for example, ஒரு வாரத்துல வந்து எங்களுக்கு ராய்கட்ல வந்து 485 crew வச்சுட்டு ஒரு shooting that the entire action sequences were going to happen, all of them clubbed together, because runway அங்கே மட்டும் தான் இருந்துச்சு. Runwayல வந்து we had to put rubble, we had to stones போடணும், இது போடணும், smoke போடணும், runway யாரும் கொடுக்க மாட்டாங்க. அப்படி இருக்கும்போது I was shooting in EVP, I was shooting the bike chase, the chase where he chases the airplane, we were doing that shot. And my producer, who never comes, Raja never comes on set, vandu ukandittu irundaru. So I'm like, what happened? He said, no, finish shooting. After finishing shooting, he said, ATR flight, which we had booked to take to Raigad, suddenly they backed out. This is exactly 4-5 days before we were going to go. And I said, oh my God, then what do we do? There's no other ATR in the country. So he said, SpiceJet, I spoke to SpiceJet, and Sharanya, his wife, was the CMO there. And she said, we'll get SpiceJet flight. But SpiceJet was a Q400. It's a different flight from what he had used.
The ATR, that Airbus ATR
is totally different from the Q400. So this was the Boeing one. So I immediately called Captain Gopinath. I said, Captain Gopinath, I want to be authentic. எனக்கு வந்து நீங்க பண்ணது அப்படியே நான் காட்டணும். அது but here factually I have to move away from that particular thing. I have to show a Q400 because they cheated us. The person who was supposed to give us and he understands that language. Last minute the kind of trauma that he's gone through while trying to start an airline. We had the same problem. He said, go ahead, Sudha, no problem. So then I shot like that. I would consult him once in a way. What did you do? Did you do this? Did you do that? So once in a way, like I remember while we were shooting, at one point, somebody who worked with him came and told us about this, how he went to the railway minister, the GM of the railways, and he said, naanga inga kuttiya oru kiosk vechikrom, we'll sell tickets in the railway station. I'm like, wow, this is, it's like total jugaad. So that's what.
When you wrote the story, you gave Aparna Balamurali a very strong role, Bommi, and she's coming from Madurai, and you brought that sentiment into the whole thing. That's a lot of people feel, even Captain Gopinath feels, that sentiment work because she is, the character is the closest to his wife also.
Correct. I spoke to Bhargavi. I met her. Like my first interview was with Captain Gopinath. அதுக்கப்புறமா அவரோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸை மீட் பண்ணேன். அதுக்கப்புறமா அன்றைக்கி நைட் வந்து I met Bhargavi. She is a pretty lady and soft and quiet, but she had steel in her. I could see that. சிரிச்சுக்கிட்டே வந்து கேப்டனை வந்து கிரிட்டிசைஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க, சிரிச்சுக்கிட்டே வந்து இப்படி பண்ணாரு அப்படி பண்ணாரு அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. And I loved that. So I brought that back and I just wrote it.
How did you choose Aparna for the role? Because you were after some other heroines, big glamour.
Not really. Right from the beginning, I knew ஒரு மதுரை சாதாரண பொண்ணு திருமங்கலத்திலிருந்து வர்ற ஒரு பொண்ணுன்ற போது I wanted a very non-star kind of a performer, but and I wanted a great performer. But Aparna, how she came into my life was GV. She was acting with GV, and GV called me one day. He said, you know, this girl, she wants to meet you. She loved Irudhi Suttru. So I said, yeah, we'll see. Then again and again, GV kept pushing. So I said, okay, ask her to come. She came, and then I looked at her, and she looked so real, and somehow I felt this was Bommi, because there was something about her. Then I just gave her the pages, and I said, now just read it for me. And that girl didn't know any Tamil, nothing, but she just she sat for 2-3 hours and she read it, and then she was just reading it from the paper, and I just felt she was Bommi. And then I asked her to do one more test. I asked her to learn up the Tamil, and she did a test with somebody. She got some Tamil person in Kerala, and she was doing her dialogues, and she sent it. And
the perfect choice, near perfect choice.
Yeah, I think she's a perfect choice. No, near perfect. She's perfect.
On social media, there's a feeling also that Urvashi should have won an award.
Yeah, I feel it very, not just social media, I feel it very, very strongly that she was terrific, you know. And she doesn't perform, she just lives that part. So
G.V. Prakash role, because the background score played a big role, and he also got a national award for the movie.
GV should have done my first film. It didn't work out, you know, not because of me, but because of the producers, it didn't work out. And we've been friends well before I did Drohi also, as assistant director. And, you know, he used to catch his, he used to hold his his cassette, and he used to go around, you know, and I had heard his, for Radio Mirchi, I think he had done a jingle, and it was an extraordinary jingle, and from then I knew him, and I was recommending him to my friends and everybody. I was working with Mani sir at that point of time, so I know him since he was really a kid, and it was a natural choice for me. I wanted to work with him, and this was the time when he was doing 8 films, you know, as an actor. And my only doubt was, everybody was telling me, ma'am, அவர் 8 படம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு, அவரால் கொடுக்க முடியுமா music, and he's not doing too much music also. So I asked him that question. First I told him, GV, you're doing this film. He said, yeah, we're doing this film. Then I said, GV, இந்த 8 படம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கே, உன்னால, can you give that time? Then he said, I will give you the background score, I will give you the tracks, and I will give you the songs recorded before you go for your shooting, all of them. 1 year before strike நடந்துச்சு. அப்போ அந்த டைம்ல April of 2018 he gave me everything all in 1 month. I had broken my leg, and I couldn't go to his studio because he doesn't have a lift. So he would come to my studio. ஒரு குட்டி ராஜாவோட டாட்டரோட குட்டி கீபோர்ட்ல he composed all the songs. Such a tiny keyboard. And I think and then when he was doing the score, it was very difficult, but he'll chase me, unlike other, you know, people that I've worked with, where I chase. He was chasing me. You have to give this, you have to deliver this is your deadline, இன்னைக்கு இது பண்ணனும் அது பண்ணனும். And we were like throwing ideas, we were throwing things. He'll do one theme, I won't like it, or I may not, then he'll just chuck it. He said, let's do something else. He's very energetic. So I think he gave his everything to the score.
Suriya was originally a theatrical film?
Always, because then there was, it was only the theatres. But March 19th, we had the lockdown, and thereon we didn't know where we were going. So
1 year it took you to release it on?
November. We were ready to release April 9th. And we had to push it to November, and even then there was no opening up of theatres or nothing. Theatres opened, I think, well after we released our film, in January or something. Even that was at 50%, if I remember right. And for big films at 50%, it doesn't work, the economics.
I'm told after winning the national award, you had a special theatrical screening.
Yeah.
How was the effect?
So it was not special, actually. It was for Suriya's birthday. ஒரு 3 நாள் வந்து green screen like in பாடியில் வந்து they were putting lots of shows and அதில் ஒரு ஷோவில் I went. It was a general audience. It was crazy. I finally got my closure, you know. It was like the whistles.
The closure that you were waiting
yeah,
all these years.
the cheers and the claps and the whistles. எங்க நாங்க வந்து எதிர்பார்த்தோமோ அந்த moments, even beyond those moments, like அந்த ஊர்மொய் sceneல and all, I believe the whole, that entire 5 minutes they were whistling. Entire 5 minutes. And it was a fantastically gratifying experience.
Suriya put a remake in Hindi. How is it progressing?
It's going good. We just finished one 35-day schedule. That's quite a bit of the film. And working with Akshay sir is completely a different process than working with Suriya. And the girl is also very, very different. The way what they do.
New heroine?
Yeah, it's not, she's really not so new. Radhika Madan. So, to me, what is exciting, what's keeping me on my toes is both these actors perform very differently. All the actors perform very differently. The language is something alien to me. And the culture is something that I don't know. Like I was saying, the way a mother cries there is very different from the way a mother cries here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm being taught all that. I'm being told all that. This is too loud, or this is not what we would do. So I'm learning as I go along.
And is it a scene-by-scene remake or?
No. It's a little different. Things that troubled me in the Tamil a little bit, things that I felt needn't have been there, I've removed. So it's a tighter version.
Okay, it's a tighter version.
It's a tighter version, yeah.
And music is by GB itself? Or?
He's doing the background score and he's doing 3 songs. Okay. And the other 3 songs we picked up from other composers. Yeah.
Coming to your next film, what's your next film? Is it
Suriya
43?
Yeah.
When is that happening?
I don't know. Once I finish my Hindi, once he finishes his commitment, very soon, not too far off.
You're not giving up much.
But really, I can't say because I don't have the dates. I mean, we haven't fixed the dates. Okay. But when I'm ready to shoot, he'll shoot.
Okay, but Suriya 43 is a pan-India film, I'm told.
Was Suriya pan-Indian?
Yeah, but that was during a different time, era. Let's say 2 years back. But now everybody is making pan-India films. And
I think the emotion is pan-Indian. Everything that I talk, be it Irudhi Suttru irukatto, Suriya Putra irukatto, it's a very pan-Indian, pan-world emotion. When the emotion is pan-world, the film is pan-world, if you ask me. Or pan-Indian.
Is Dulquer doing a role in the movie?
No. Dulquer is my favorite. But I haven't even spoken to him, no. Yeah.
And the other rumor in town is that you're doing a film with Silambarasan for Home Bale.
No, that again is not, nothing there. I keep hearing these rumors too, seriously.
So, is it true?
No, it's a rumor.
When are you starting Home Bale film?
After Suriya's, whenever that is. Okay. So, I never signed so much ahead, sir. But Home Bale has been wanting to work together for some time. Not now. We've been friends forever, like more than 3, 4, 5 years. We've been talking well before all of this. So I just signed with them.
Is that script also ready? Or?
It's getting ready. It's ready. I keep writing.
How do you go for a shoot? Do you go with a complete script? There's a big issue in Tamil cinema now.
No. It's a bound script.
Do you have a bound script?
Yep. I don't work any other way. Because, sir, the hell of a shooting experience, the experience is like you've got 25 lakhs or 10 lakhs per day riding on your head. Like we've spent 50 lakhs per day on this film, on Suriya Potru. Appo neenga script illama eppadi poitu neenga enna edupinga?
And when you do Suriya 43, now would you be having that kind of thing that because he has a certain image, Mr. Suriya has a certain image, I have to have that in my script or not? Or do you go by the strength of your...
You know, I never go by the image really. Because அப்படி இமேஜ் பார்த்து நான் பண்ணணும்னா ஒரு 10 ஆக்ஷன் சீக்வன்ஸ் வச்சிருக்கணும்னா Suriya Potrula அது இல்ல. It was what it demanded. I cannot have fights. Actually நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒரு வெர்ஷன் ஆஃப் ஸ்கிரிப்ட்ல வந்து ஒரு ஃபைட் இருந்துச்சு. But it was such a generic fight. It was not genre specific. And it was irritating me. So I took it off. And Suriya didn't say anything. So, imagine pata, I mean, he doesn't smoke, but they were smoking in the film. He doesn't like to use bad words, but there were bad words in the film. There were cuss words. So, I really didn't stick to his image.
And now for Hombale films, they said you're going to make a pan-India films.
Right.
So for that, you have a different workout, different style?
So, the thing is, to me, if the subject is pan-India, that's all. The film is pan-India. Adukku special, I don't know how people make pan-India. I mean, would you define pan-India?
Pan-India, according to everybody, is something which there is something in it for the Hindi audiences as well as audiences in Kerala or Telugu audiences. Everybody should be pleased with it. And maybe a couple of actors from various industries coming together to do a pan-India film.
Okay, then a couple of actors coming from various industries, I don't think that's happening. I don't know that. But everybody identifying with that story, that will happen. Like Suriya Potru, I had people from Haryana, I had people from Bengal, I had people from Rajasthan. It was trending at number one in states like Rajasthan and all that. I mean, I didn't understand it. It's the core emotion, you know. That core emotion is universal.
But there should be some actors that a particular state can identify with. But you are saying you are going to stick to whoever you are going to select.
Yeah, and not on his... I think whoever is suitable for that particular character, I only go with that. I knew Suriya was Captain Gopinath. I knew his eyes, his sincerity. There's a sincerity in Suriya. You know, if Suriya is a kind of person who can sell ice to the Eskimos, literally, you know, so sincere. When he's saying something, it doesn't sound false or fake or untrue. When he says, "Avana paraka vekkanu sir," அப்படினு president கிட்ட சொல்லும்போது,
fantastic actor.
Yeah, and so I chose him for that. So I believed only Suriya can do that role. Same way, whoever I chose for the Hombale film, I will believe that only he can do that. It doesn't matter to me if he's pan-India or non-pan-India or he's only known in one state. Doesn't matter.
Okay, will you be doing any web series or anything?
No, sir. Not just now. After all this, I am doing something. I have signed up with somebody and it's a subject very close to my heart. It's about the first 3 women doctors in the south.
Wow.
In Tamil Nadu.
That's...
It's fictionalized, but it's set in that world, based on true events. It's a brilliant story, and it really speaks to me. It's set in the 1920s through to the 1940s. So that I want to do.
Sudha, now Sudha Kongara is a major brand. All big heroes, it seems, want to work with you.
Thank you.
And there are rumors every day that you're working. One, Suriya 43 is confirmed, I know. But you're working with Simbu, you're working with Ajit, and probably Mahesh Babu. Where do all these rumors come? It's a big achievement for you, a women lady director. The big male stars of the industry want to work with you. How did it start?
It started small, but I think that was always my intention. My intention is there's no small intimate films for women. Yeah, you want to do it, go ahead and do it. But if I want to do whatever I want to do, I want to be able to do it. So to me, I think the glass ceiling is getting broken. It's we are heading there because I feel really happy. Sometimes, like my assistants tell me, you know, the only people that they're saying are the rumors that come are the biggest of actors in your film. You know, so I think somewhere it's like, it's no longer like iva the chinna padam panno, iva the female, so she can't direct. All that is broken. So I think that's a great step forward.
Yeah, you broke the glass ceiling.
Yeah, and many will. It's happening as we speak. We have fantastic filmmakers. Sir, the statistic, I was just thinking, during the pandemic, in the last 2 years, Oscars were won back-to-back by directors who were female.
Females.
Right?
Yeah.
This year, like last year, the nominations, out of 5 Best Director nominations, 3 were women. Golden Globes, same thing.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at? We're talking 75% are women in the directors list.
Yes.
That should happen in India.
And
very soon it should happen.
Your technical team has got a lot of assistants who are women, right?
No, I don't have assistant directors who are women. I don't.
Shalini is your script writer? Or?
She's my writer. Purnima is my costume designer. And but if I like a technician who is fantastic. It doesn't matter to me what sex that person is of. Never, ever. Because Mani sir never looked at me as like she's a female. Nothing. I think he was the big feminist in my life, the first big feminist. You know, he just made me do everything that the boys did. So I got off on the right foot.
Okay, it's a crazy question. It's from the fans. On location, you dress like the boss on the sets with all your cap and all that. But at functions, you are always wearing ethnic.
Yeah. இதெல்லாமா கேட்பாங்க. I dress for comfort. There are like 150 crew and you just don't want to be uncomfortable or wear revealing clothing or clothes that people are looking at. You just like you're running on the sets and you're jumping up and down. So you wear pants so you know your shirt doesn't lift, your kurta doesn't lift. So it is best that I wear what I wear. And when I go for my functions and when I go for everything, I really like. Yeah, I do. So I just dress up. Yeah.
So that's it. And all the best for more national awards.
That's a big wish.
No, I don't think with your dedication and with the way you work on scripts.
I hope so, sir.
And okay, all the best for
Thank you, sir.
Suriya 43.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.